My name is Mickey, and it's the time of year where I go book shopping. I just had my cousin come visit me for the past week, so we've been going around Seattle, going to lots of bookshops, coffee shops, and just seeing the city around Christmas time, which has been really nice because I've never been in Seattle this time of year. So now to get into the books, I want to start off with all the manga and comics that I've been buying. First is something I actually got during Black Friday, and that is Oyasumi Punpun or Goodnight Punpun volumes 2 and 3. I've only read volume 1 and I got that from the library. I plan on collecting the rest of these and reading them as I go. This is the volume 2 cover, and here's volume 3. I think they're super nice. I think having the full collection will look really pretty on my shelves. And if you don't know what Goodnight Punpun is about, I think, like me, it was best going into it without knowing anything at all. Just know that it is a pretty depressing story, so you gotta be in the right mood for it, but the storytelling is strange and heartbreaking at the same time. And I have no idea what happens in the rest of the series, but I'm guessing it'll be just as good as the beginning. For this next graphic novel, I have been reading a lot of good manga lately. I haven't really found a graphic novel that has got me hooked. And even when I go into bookstores, I feel like the graphic novel section is lacking, especially in the indie comics section. I'm not a DC Marvel reader at all, so that whole like superhero section is a loss on me. So I decided to order online actually, which is this graphic novel. It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth by Zoe Thorogood. I think I've seen their work just like browsing through the art side of Instagram. I'll read you a bit of the synopsis. This is an intimate and meta-narrative look into the life of a selfish artist who must create for her own survival. A poignant and original depiction of a young woman's struggle with mental health, through the ups and downs of anxiety, depression, and imposter syndrome, as she forges a promising career in sequential art and finds herself along the way. I really enjoy stories like this in graphic form, and I'm very excited to read this book probably by the end of the year. Now, I was super excited to find this at my local bookshop, and that is the second volume of Akira the manga. I have volume 1 back there, and I've had it for a couple years now, and I have just refused to buy the rest of the series unless I can find it secondhand, and I wanted to buy it in order as well and not skip around. So I was so surprised to walk into this used bookstore and see this right front and center of the manga section, and it's in pretty good condition as well. I might have to reread volume 1 to understand what's happening again, but of course I think everyone knows Akira. I've watched the movie. I don't know how much the movie adapts from the manga or how much further the story goes within the manga, but I think just the art itself is like something really enjoyable. I love the art of Akira. I'm definitely inspired by these kinds of like clean black and white illustrations. Overall, very hyped about this one. And last but not least, for manga, I feel like if you are a shoujo lover, you will feel the way I felt when I saw this in stores. And I have 2 volumes of Lovely Complex. About a month or so now, I was suddenly obsessed with the idea of reading Lovely Complex, the manga, because I watched the anime like way back in middle school. It's one of my first shoujo animes and still one of my favorites. And instead of rewatching it I really wanted to read it, but the English edition is out of print. And I was looking on eBay, I was seeing box sets for like $500-600. I was like, am I really gonna spend that much on manga? And the Japanese editions for the box sets were like in the $100-200 realm. I've been doing Duolingo Japanese, obviously nowhere near practiced enough to actually be reading manga, but I mean, I wasn't actually looking for these, but when I saw them in the used bookstore, I just had to get it because what are the chances? This is volumes 11 and 12. I think they had up to 15, but I did have to stop myself because realistically, I won't be able to read these for maybe another year or two of studying Japanese. Just having these brings me so much joy. Also, they come with stickers, which I think is incredible. So this is 11. If you open it, it comes with stickers. It's like a collector's edition. And this one also comes with it too. See? It's cute, right? And I decided to pick 11 and 12 because there's a picture of both the main characters. So I'm just so happy to explain to those who don't know. This is one of the greatest shoujo series of all time. It's comedic, which is hard to, I think, strike a good balance with in anime or manga. I feel like Japanese humor isn't usually my thing, but the humor in this is so good. All I really remember is that it's a high school romance and the guy is shorter than average and the girl is a lot taller than average, and they end up falling for each other, and despite the height difference, which is really cute, they make such a good pair. I highly recommend watching the anime if you're in the mood for something feel good, and if you're lucky enough to get yourself a copy of the manga in the language you read, I would highly suggest you read it as well. Lastly, I have 2 novels that I picked up at different used bookstores around Seattle. So this first one I think I've tried to read before. That is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. And I think I want to go into this mostly blind, so no one tell me what this is about. But the vibe I'm getting from just the first page is giving me like a Kurt Vonnegut vibe. So I feel like this will be really interesting to read. This might be something that I start reading now before the end of the year, even though I have a lot of books from the library that I need to start reading, but honestly this is catching my attention the most. And then a book for later when I am feeling more well-read and cultured is Crime and Punishment. There wasn't like a Penguin edition, which I prefer to collect, but this was only like $6. I am very excited to get into Russian literature, and I've been wondering where I want to start, which author. I feel like I've seen enough booktubers talk about it to want to start with Crime and Punishment. So this will be my first take into Russian literature. I do have like War and Peace. That might be my only other Russian lit novel I have on my shelves, but that is a big undertaking. So when the time comes, I'm really excited to get into Crime and Punishment. So that is all for my book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about books. Let me know if you want to hear more about books in the future. Other than reading, I do like to draw comics and sometimes write books, so I am happy to talk about it some more. And also if you want a bookshelf tour, like, let me know what you guys want. I think my next video I'm gonna be drawing a comic, so if you want to see more art, I guess stay tuned for next week. Other than that, Happy New Year. We're almost into 2024, so I will see you next year. Bye.